all have the power to change the world, but the only need is to utilize the power in the right direction. But what is this power and why do we even need to change the world? Isn't it already the world humanity was aiming for? I mean, we have all the resources, necessities, facilities we ever needed. We are developing day by day. So I don't think we need to change the world, right? Or wrong. See, society hates change. Change or progress causes society to also change some belief system. That is why most of the people are hesitant to change their beliefs or their ideals of how the world works. It is only a minority of people, a fraction of the population, that ever bear the courage to challenge the societal norms, to bring a revolution or make the world a better place to live. These people are inventors, innovators, creators, advocates, and ultimately, they all are change makers. But to explain to you all what a change maker really is and what does it really mean to induce change, I'm going to take an example of a climate actionist working for the betterment of the environment. Someone who plants trees every weekend. Someone who is 14 and running his own organization. Well, that sounds like the guy standing in front of you and speaking to you all. Me. Greetings to each one of you. I'm Aarav, Seth, a 14-year-old student actionist working for the betterment of the environment and the people, and the co-founder of the Foundation. So first things first, how am I even a change maker? Well, I'm an advocate for climate action, and I've taken several steps for the betterment of the environment through my motto of each one, teach one to plant one. I've planted more than 5,000 trees and also encouraged my friends and known ones to participate in these drives, creating a community-level engagement. Through my organization, the Foundation, I aim to tackle many environmental and social issues through three initiatives. In our first initiative, Sunday for Secure Future, is whereby we plant trees or clean road dividers, parks, riverbanks every weekend. We are also amplifying the motto of each one, teach one to plant one, as we encourage the youth to take at least one climate action each Sunday. We believe planting trees is not enough, but taking care of them is the full progress. That is why we also nurture the trees we plant and ensure their sustainable growth. We have received an encouraging response from many countries across the world as well as from many states of India. One of the prominent activists that have been supporting this movement are from countries like Togo, Kenya, and Germany. In our second initiative, She Hygiene, we distribute eco-friendly sanitary pads to deprived women and girls who cannot afford to buy this basic necessity. Our monthly goal is 250 to 300 women or girls on a monthly basis. And to date, we have distributed more than 5,000 sanitary pads. In our third initiative, Helping Hands, we encourage people to give us books, board games, footwears, etc., which we later donate to the deprived section of the society. Through the 1,500 books that we have donated, children now have access to education and entertainment. They can now learn new skills and gain knowledge about the world. I've taken the opportunity of being on social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn to spread awareness about climate crisis, what I'm doing to tackle climate change, and how people too can turn their aspirations to work for the environment into actions through each one, teach one to plant one. But now you may ask a question that what was the motivation or inspiration that went behind starting this journey? Why did I choose to become a climate actionist? And what does my motto of each one, teach one to plant one really means? Well, my ship embarked on the ocean of climate advocacy. Not because I was influenced by a motivator or motivated by a role model to work for the environment, but because my purpose as a climate actionist sprouted up due to a lack, a scarcity of awareness and care for the environment and nature. It was at the young age of 8 when I caught up these terms like climate change and global warming from a TV show that I was watching. I asked myself that what is climate change and how does it affect us? Upon my research, I was horrified to see that how humans are destroying the very own nature they were created and evolved in. We are turning seas into graveyards of plastic, converting lands into jungles of concrete, and filling up our air with noxious gases. And all of this is an open invitation to global warming, which will only mean more natural disasters, more floods, more natural calamities, and ultimately an irreparable damage in the ecological processes of nature, termed as climate change. All of this horrified me as an 8-year-old. I got worried and anxious about my future. But then I said to myself that I cannot just sit here and do nothing. I need to take action, not to protect the earth, not to protect the environment, but to save myself, my family, my friends, and my future. And yes, those were some big words for an 8-year-old, but as the saying goes, the journey to big ambition starts with small steps. Thus, I started small by planting trees every weekend. And while I was planting trees, I came up with the idea that how about I teach this to my friends? And when they have planted one tree, they can teach it to others, creating a ripple effect. This led to the formation of my motto of each one, teach one, to plant one. And later, I also made a rule in my life to give plants on birthdays and special occasions of my friends, which inspired many in the process. In 2019, I joined a plantation group that planted trees all around Delhi NCR. In the year, I planted more than 3,000 trees and also took great care of them. We planted trees from parks to road dividers, from the banks of River Yamuna, all the way up to the Gazipur yard. Also, my motto of each one, teach one, to plant one, started receiving pleasant response from many people. And as these activities were running parallel to my life, 2020 arrived and brought a pandemic with it. The COVID-19 pandemic. A lockdown was imposed and all of our work halted in a sudden moment. Initially, in the early stages of the pandemic, I was excited and happy to follow the new way of living, the new normal. But gradually, after skipping a bunch of online classes and limited interaction with my friends, I got bored of this new normal. I realized that I had been distracted from my purpose as a climate actionist and that I needed to get back to being a flag bearer. Thus, with a fiery will and a spark in my eye, I was determined to make a fresh start yet again. As the COVID cases stabilized, I got back to planting trees every weekend, which made me feel a whole lot better because it gave me the inner strength to continue with my mission. My friends and known ones started to get involved, and now each one, teach one, to plant one became a shared motto of all. And just as all these things were started to come back to normal, India was hit by the second COVID wave, which proved to be a tragedy of epic proportions. Millions were infected and hundreds of thousands died. Nobody in India was left untouched by the adverse impacts of the pandemic. And it was during these terrifying times that I was saddened to look at the grim situation of those underprivileged kids who do not have access to education and entertainment. There were some situation of those women who cannot afford a basic necessity, such as a sanitary pad. But as the saying goes, within every difficulty is an opportunity. So instead of getting lost in emotions, I found an opportunity to fill up these gaps among the social disparities and to merge my actions in service to both the environment and the people. Thus, I, along with my friend Shreya, established a platform for social and environmental change, which you all know today as We Rise Together Foundation. But still, challenges still didn't miss a chance for bombing the image of our aspirations. Frequently in our Shiajan drives, we were encountered by the taboo embedded in the mind of those girls around menstruation and periods. In one of our drives, our male volunteers were restricted from giving sanitary pads to the deprived girls there. And as a solution to this problem, we started giving awareness sessions and gradually peeled the layers of stigma around periods and menstruation. During some months, we are barely able to receive enough donations to procure sanitary pads for our drives. But still, we do not let this situation deter our will to create an impact. We still go as far as paying through our own pocket to maintain a consistent effort in providing menstrual hygiene to these deprived girls. In some of our drives, we often find our trees damaged or uprooted by the pedestrians, which not only is a harm to the money invested in those trees, but also to our hard work and our care that went in to ensure the sustainable growth. Oftentimes, we also receive resistance from the locals of the area who try to drive us out and create fights and arguments against planting trees. But on the other hand, we also see passers-by who would just come by and join our efforts, appreciate our work. And this makes us realize that our earlier experiences were not a representative of humanity, but just some bad to a more good side of it. Thus, I have realized that through these challenging experiences, we can choose to be discouraged. It is our choice to perceive these challenges and our obstacles in our way, to view them either as a discouraging experience or as a learning experience. Thus, I use my obstacles as a fuel to rise even higher and create a community level change. What an enlightening journey it has been so far. From planting one tree to planting more than 5,000 trees. From working alone to working with a team. And from being an ordinary boy to being a climate actionist. And all the credit goes to my parents and my friends who have supported me in my endeavors. But you know what? This is just the beginning. There is still a long way to reach my purpose of creating a global change against climate change. And the next phase of my journey starts with none other than you, my friend. See, generations before us had a fortune of natural resources to live off with. But today the condition has worsened because nature has worsened, thanks to our unconscious actions. We do not have access to the same pristine environment like our parents and grandparents used to have. Thus, it becomes my duty, your duty, and duty of each one of us to do our bit, not to protect the environment, but to protect ourselves before we become a danger to ourselves. Here I would like to mention that Indian Constitution, along with providing us civil rights, has also given us several duties and obligations to follow as citizens of the country. And one of those duties is mentioned in the Article 51AG that states, it shall be the duty of each and every citizen of India to protect and preserve the natural environment, including wildlife, rivers, forests, and lakes, to have compassion for all living creatures. Coming back to what I said earlier in my speech, We all have the power to change the world, but the only need is to utilize the power in the right direction. No individual is too small to create a change in their own community. And it is through these small changes that we create a bigger impact. Thank you, and have a nice day.